Two for 9211 coming at you with another video. This video is gonna be regarding the test hand, so I'm gonna try to make it quick, pretty quick. But basically, there is a few things that I wanted to talk about that are very important. The first one is, can't seem to get this. What is getting hit the most in the deck is very important. So in reality, there's only two cards. Even though nobody believes what I say, nobody believes what I tell them. The reason why they get so angry is because they know I'm right. The problem is, if you're right, that means somebody else is wrong. Not everybody can be right. It's not a reality. It's not a reality. The truth is, if somebody's right, that means somebody's going to be wrong. And because of that, that's going to trigger people to be angry. So these are cards that are going to get hit in the Dark Magician deck. It's not because I say, it's not because I like, it's not because of nothing, it's just a fact. So these cards get hit in the Dark Magician deck with spell trap destruction, sometimes monster effects, but they get popped, all of them. They're high priority for leaving the field. Like they leave ASAP, like immediately they are gone. You won't see them on the field much when you duel. So that's the reason why I included this card. Imperial Custom. So Imperial Custom says that if they were to destroy any continuous traps, they're not destroyed now. So it says that effect is not for this card. So you could read it. There it is, if it can focus. So basically none of the trap cards can be destroyed except for Imperial Custom. So when they try to hit something, the circle won't count, but when they try to hit anything else, you'll trigger the Imperial Custom and it burns it, because even though they try to burn it, now they can't. So then it burns it, and then now they have to burn this in order to burn those. So the reason why I play that is because sometimes in a duel, it's not a perfect world, so you're not able to bring out your Dragon Knight, and I don't know why I don't have it in my main deck. Something's going on, but here's one of them. Sometimes he's not available, so because he's not available, you don't have back row protection. And then the other card that gets hit is Dragoon. Dragoon usually doesn't last on the field. They try to get him out priority. They'll even forget about the rest of the cards. All they want to do is get rid of Dragoon. So your back row and Dragoon are the two main cards that take the heat. This is why my deck is made a specific way, because it's not made about Dragoon, and it's not necessarily made about the back row. Even though the back row helps, there's other cards going on, so you gotta be able to protect your field together with your monsters before these two monsters come out. So cards that help get that to protect them. If you know how to use the Omni Negate of the Magician's Right Hand, which I've already taught before, so the combo is definitely. I don't recommend playing it in a top tier, but if it's your first time in locals and you just want to test it, you can play it. But in a top tier setting, the Magician's Right Hand will brick you because it'll come out when you don't need it. The only way that the deck, this card will work, is if you pull it from the deck, not your first hand. Then at that point, you can play Magician's Right Hand. This is why it's only for a hyper budget version. But if you want to play it at your locals, as long as you don't draw it in your opening hand, it's fine. Because if you draw it in your opening hand, it's a negate. but you don't want the negate. What you want to do is draw power because they're going to be hitting you with hand traps. So this is part one of the video. So basically you activate it and then Eternal is there. So you should let all the spells resolve. Let them resolve. The only time that you trigger the Eternal is when they play like a Feather Duster or anything that would blow up your field. Then at that point you trigger it and it brings Dark Magician and it makes the right hand Omni negate. Basically you choose what's played and what's not. So it's like a Dragoon or an Orito or a Solemn Judgment, because the card reads while you have a spellcaster on the field, the first spell played. So that's where the trick is. So people thought that, oh, their first spell got played, it already got used. No, this will trigger after you have a spellcaster, so they can play Monster Reborn and then they can play something else. And then right after they play Feather Duster, that's when you trigger it and then you Omni negate it. And it works well with the circle, obviously, so you get the banish and Omni negate. So it is an easy way to negate. I mean, I'm not going to say it's not. It puts more negates on the board. This build has somewhere around 6 negates per turn if you can play it correctly. So moving along. So just to recap, these are the cards that get popped the highest. Like, they won't stay on your board. If they do, you'll win, but obviously they don't, right? We're talking about reality. These cards, they're your skill drain, your Eternal. There can only be one in circle, and Red Eyes, Dark Dragoon. They will not last on your field. They will go away immediately because your opponent will take care of them. So that's the reason why I play Imperial Custom. So for this build, I'm not going to be adding the right hand. The reason why, because this is like a top tier style. So you can leave it in there. Don't take it out if you don't want to, but I recommend that that you do pull it out because it can brick you. So every other card is non-brick, but that one, oops, but that one is a brick card, because if you draw it, basically you can't draw, and they're gonna be negating your hand, right? At least 2 negations, so you can't play the card. You can play it, but I mean, you need to document the percentage that you're drawing it in your first hand. If you're drawing it 50% of the time, you gotta get rid of it. It's bad. So the deck's shuffled. So I'll show you an example. So this is, we're gonna play 3 different styles. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oops, 5. So this one's Illusion of Chaos. So they're all sold out. So basically, if your opponent has a hand trap or something, at this point you can call by the grave it. But if they were to play it, you can still burn it. So then what you would do for this example, you would play Preparation of Rites. So if they don't do nothing, you draw it. But if they were to do it like a 1 negate, they negate it. And the whole point of playing 2 of these and playing 2 of these and 3 of the rods and 3 of the Magician Souls is because when they negate you, you're baiting them. You actually already have those cards in your hand. So look, you play it, they trigger the Ash, and then after that you play the Illusion of Chaos, you see? So then what you would do, you want to go into draw power. So you dump Dark Magician and the gestures for the Illusion, Magician Souls. So you shuffle, and then you're gonna go into, you're gonna try to do draw power. The whole deck is about draw power. So once you get your draw power, that's where the combos come out. So you special, and then this you stack it on the top, and then remember when you triggered the effect, it buried it because it pulled the Dark Magician. So then after that, you trigger the effect and you discard two, discard and you draw one, two, and at this point you do have a problem because you actually drew into the same cards. So you would set it face down, and then let's say that when he goes, for example, he plays feather, so you just let it go, and then he summons 3,000 hitters. He attacks that, hits you with 3,000. Then you draw, and then at this point, what you would do is the illusion of chaos, right? So then you trigger the illusion of chaos, and they use a hand trap or something else. Then after that, it's negated. So then after that, terraforming, and then you hit him with Mystic Mine. And then he's frozen. So then after that, you set the Eternal Soul. Obviously, if he wouldn't have negated you last turn and this turn, it would have been different, but it doesn't matter. Then you set the Eternal face down and you end your turn, so he's frozen. So then you draw phase, and then you draw. You ever skill drain? This is gonna be pretty much game. If they can't out the backboard, this is gonna be it. So skill drain, and then you trigger. And you're gonna go ahead and get Rod. Magician's Rod. Let's see the graveyard. Yeah, you're gonna get Magician's Rod. And then because he has more monsters than you can trigger the effect, right? So then you summon. You get the circle, and then you go into the Mystic Mine combo. So you escape the Mystic. So I think I invented that. I did it in 2019. It's in my channel 3 years ago. Then everybody copied me. So then from there you go to Mangetsu. You get the circle activated. This is pretty much set, and then they're frozen. And then they're gonna try to link. So then you look at the top 3 cards of your deck. So you get this and stack it like this. So you get this to your hand, and then oops. So we got Illusion of Chaos in our hand, right? Well, actually, you stacked it. And then you get this to your hand. Then when he goes, you're gonna trigger the effect of Eternal, and then that automatically is gonna trigger the effect of Rod. So you pop it, he's still gonna be locked. So then when he ends his turn, if you already linked to make one monster, you're gonna break out of it, right? And then when you break out of it, when he ends his turn, what you could do, well, you already used the effect, right? So then we draw this turn. So then he has the Mystic Mine is still active. So then you trigger it, and then you special, and you're gonna banish the back row, not the monster, because you want the, or else you're gonna stay locked. So you leave the Mystic, you banish the back row. If you don't want to do that, you could just Rod and search for Dark Magic attack, stack it, draw it, and hit. But yeah, I wouldn't do that. I would just break out of it. Use special. Nothing's gonna happen because you have skill drain. So this is what I mean. They're gonna try to pop your back row. So as you saw, there was no protection for it. Um, so then at this point, you like I said, you banish, then you enter, and this is gonna break, and then he's gonna try to chain effects or whatever. Then you're gonna go ahead the skill drain, so he's gonna be frozen. Obviously, before you end your turn, usually I tell people to link. You should never go one turn without linking for the Dark Magician. When you have Circle Eternal, that's everybody's mistake. They forget to link. Without excuses, without forgetting, it always has to be active. So then he goes, and then obviously you're gonna banish. It's just gonna be coming banishing, 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 and you're just gonna be linking. You have a lot of links to link into it on purpose. You have the Crawly, you have the Nightmare Phoenix, you got the Protector. There's a lot of stuff that you can use to link. All you need right now at this point is to protect the back row. This combo doesn't need anything else. Now, let's say for instance they were to pop the whole back row, or they just pop this, right? They pop that, and then he goes away. The skill drain's still active. That's another thing about my deck. They have to pick and choose what they want to pop because a lot of people don't play Feather. They play Cyclone or whatever, or Twin Twister. But they only usually just pop one, so they're gonna have to pick and choose. So when they do that, they fell into the trap because the Veil is here for the Dark Magician to banish. So then at that point, I would you draw, and then you get the preps, and then you're gonna break out of the skill drain. So I'll show you. You play you play the preparation. Well, actually, yeah, and then you draw it to your hand, the Illusion of Chaos. So you already went through what, 2-3 negates of the hand trap, so they're usually more likely not gonna have any more. And with the skill drain, yeah, that's gonna be it. So then what you do from there, the combo is you activate it, and then you get the Magician Souls. The gestures are representing it. Remember how I told you from the beginning? So then what happens is he dumps, and he dumps a Dark Magician or Dark Magician Girl. You always want to do one Dark Magician, one Dark Magician Girl, always. Unless they banish your Dark Magician, then you need to dump another Dark Magician. And then you trigger the effect, and you're gonna use the effect to dump. And let's say they play Ash Blossom, it doesn't really matter because you're gonna get what you want. This was in your hand. So then what you do right now is you're gonna set up the backboard. So what you do is you're gonna Rod, Soul Servant, and you're gonna stack again the Eternal Soul from the graveyard to the top of the deck and draw it. And you're gonna enter Dragoon or Dragon Knight right now. So I'm gonna show you. So what you do is you link those two. This is just an example so you see what's going on. You link them to him, to Whelp. And then look, you activate. Dark Magician comes from the graveyard. You're gonna banish a card on the field, and then you're gonna chain to secrets. There you go, your Dragoon or Dragon Knight. You wanna go into your second Dragoon, stack the secret again, and use it again. But if you don't want to do that, stack the Eternal, and then you're gonna draw. You're gonna draw 2 cards. 1, 2. So this one was removed. So you're gonna set it, and then you're gonna end your turn. So then you got the circle. You got the circle rod effect, right? So they're gonna play whatever they want to play, like a feather or whatever. You're gonna omni negate, even if they play like a kaiju. So they kaiju him, and then they try to summon something else or set their spell trap. You're gonna trigger, and then you're gonna go ahead and banish. If you need defense, leave him out there. If you don't need defense, use Rod. So you get Rod, he gets back, and then it's your turn again. And then look, now you can go into a Dragoon or a Dragon Knight. So here's how you do it. So basically, you would stack. Let's say they got rid of the circle, for example, right? They got rid of the circle. So you stack the circle on the top, and then you Rod, get the circle, and then you would use the effect to draw 2. 1, 2 Imperial Custom. So now your back row's protected. There can only be 1. This is gonna be game. It was game a while ago, but I'm just going against what my opponent is doing, so people don't think I'm cheating. But you draw these 2, and then basically you tribute it like it says, and then Dark Mission, and then it goes into the second Dragoon or Dragon Knight. And then at this point, you're gonna win because you play circle, the 1 Rod, and this. So you get another circle. Yeah, you get the circle and you stack these. You don't need the Rod. So you stack the Magician Souls because you need to send these cards to the graveyard to draw more cards and deactivate them. They're only supposed to be active in your opponent's turn. During your turn, you have to deactivate them with Magician Souls. So you set these 2 face down. So these are the plays that you have against your opponent. So you have Omni Negate 1, Banish 2, and then if they try to pop the Eternal or anything, you just trigger Imperial Custom. So this is another interruption. And then this one's another one, the Floodgate. There can only be 1. So when there can only be 1 and Dragoons on the field, that's game. Because you're going to have to explain what can they summon. Only 1 that can beat Dragoon. And Dragoon's usually 4,000. So these 2 cards by themselves are usually game. Those 2 cards. Also, Dragoon with the Eternal Circle is usually game for a lot of people. Even with the skill drain, as long as you protect it. So this was an example. Now we're gonna try a 2 negation. So we're gonna try a 2 negation now to see what happens. So I think we have accidentally fusion. So now we're gonna try a 2 negation. This is your local tournament. This is how your local tournament goes. A lot of people don't believe it. Like they're like, that guy doesn't know what he's talking about. Yeah, I do. You go through 2 negations every turn. That's what the locals is like. If you don't go through any or you go through 1, then that means your opponent's deck sucks. But usually you go through 2. So here you go. Once you get to like, you beat your first 3 and your opponent is hitting you with 2 negations. So you go first, opening hand. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this hand's pretty much broken. So if they don't have back row removal, this game is yours. So what you do is you basically you hit prep and they're gonna ash, and then you're gonna play what's his name, Spellbook, and then they're gonna infinite impermanence, and then you're gonna set two of the skill drain. So then when they go, you trigger it, and they're gonna hit him, and then you're gonna draw, and this is what you draw. Because of the skill drain active on the field, I would try to take more hits to see if you can set something up, because usually they can't special summon anymore. So let's say they hit you with two more monsters and you have like 2,000 life points left. So here you go. Here's a good one. So at this point, you're gonna go for draw power. So this is what you're gonna do. So you're gonna dump the Dark Magician. Yeah, dump him. Then he's gonna special